Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to Season 2. My name is Raymond Macmillan and we are about to kick off Season 2 of our insurance education. What can you expect in Season 2? For one, we will be talking about the coronavirus today, but later on you can expect we would have interviews with some individuals in the insurance industry. We'd want to look at IT, how that is impacting the insurance industry and how we can manage the disruption which is posed to us in the industry as insurance companies and also intermediaries. How can we combat that using IT? We'd also have a live session where you would be able to call in and ask any questions which we'd answer. We'd also want to look at something which has been in the industry since the 1930s, the Insurance Act. It's the Road Traffic Acts, different countries. And what are the loopholes in these acts and how can we combat them? And in Season 2, we'd kick off Season 2 looking at fraudulent claims and what insurers can put in place to combat fraudulent claims. Now, it's very topical. It's the COVID-19, which is a family of the coronavirus. We want to look at three policies which are affected. First, I had a call from a friend in the UK and they're having an event in November and wanting to know how can their policy be affected because of the virus. Well, what I shared with the person is one, if you have key artists who are supposed to attend, and let's say they have to cancel because of the virus, then you would have to look at that cancellation clause, what was agreed in that contract between yourself and that key performer. Also, what about the renting of the venue? What conditions were in place? So that's one is the artist who would be attending, the venue, and also if you were selling tickets, what are the conditions of sale? So therefore, it would be very important to look at your contract to see what is in place. I take it you have events insurance. And this can even apply to a wedding. Cancellation of the wedding, cancellation of the cake, the rings, etc. Or delay. What is in place? I would suggest that you would speak with your attorney and go through the cancellation clause carefully in the policy. Another policy which can be affected is your health insurance policy. Usually, anytime there's a pandemic, and if there, let's say, is a nuclear reaction or so of or explosion which affected a wide area, insurers say those types of exposures are too large and they cannot accurately predict what type of premium which should be attached to these types of experiences. They are usually excluded under the standard policy, and sometimes they are insured separately in like a pool. You know, for instance, there is a terrorism pool, there is a flood pool in the UK, and I'm sure there's a nuclear pool as well. So these risks are better priced and placed in pools. They're excluded from the standard cover. Barring that, ladies and gentlemen, I would suggest that you check the wording of your policy. It's usually under the general conditions, exclusions which relate to nuclear risks, etc. You would find information there to see if this pandemic or any other pandemic or epidemics, if they are excluded. That's as far as your health policy goes. Something recent which is happening right now, there is another type of policy which is called a mortgage indemnity, or sometimes there's another term for it called a PPI, which is quite similar. The mortgage indemnity specifically relates to mortgages, where if you should become incapacitated because of health, or if, let's say, if you've lost your job, if you've been retrenched, or if you have to take time away from work to care for a very ill, close relative, immediate relative like husband or wife or kids, the policy can now be triggered to pay your mortgage installments until such a time again when you're able to. I know insurers right now, for any new cases for income protection, they are applying an exclusion for new cases. Therefore, that income protection policy you've got, or the mortgage indemnity insurance you've got, or the PPI, go to your cancellation conditions, go to your claims conditions and see what is required for you. If you're not sure, why not speak to your attorney? And if you want to send me an email, or if you want to send me a text message, I promise you I would reply. In our next video, we would also be looking at a policy called professional indemnity insurance. Why is that necessary? Who would benefit a lot from these? And what are the two types which you can get in the market, the usual two types that are available? Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was helpful to at least one person. Now, if you like what you've just heard, may I invite you to subscribe to our channel? If you would want to be the first to receive our next video, click the notification button just at the top. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.